the hidden connection that could bring Benjamin Sesko to Old Trafford. What if we told you that Manchester United's next big signing might happen because of someone you've probably never heard of? While everyone talks about Fabrizio Romano's latest transfer updates, there's a secret weapon working behind the scenes at Old Trafford that could be the key to solving United's striker crisis. Benjamin Sesko, the 22-year-old Slovenian goal machine, has become Manchester United's latest target in their desperate search for a prolific striker. But here's the twist that makes this transfer different from all the others. United have an inside man who knows Sesko better than anyone else in football. This hidden connection could be what finally gets United the striker they desperately need. After a shocking 15th place finish in the Premier League, United know they need to act fast. They've already spent big money on Bryan Mbeumo and Matheus Cunha, but everyone knows the real problem is up front. They need a proper striker who can score 20-plus goals a season. Could Benjamin Sesko be that man? And more importantly, can United actually get him? The brutal truth about United's striker crisis. Let's be honest about where Manchester United are right now. Last season was a complete disaster, and the numbers don't lie. Bruno Fernandes was their top scorer with 19 goals, and he's a midfielder. Only 3 other players hit double figures all season. For a club like Manchester United, that's simply not good enough. When your captain and main creative player is also your top goal scorer, you know you have serious problems in attack. United tried different solutions throughout the season, but nothing worked. They played wingers as strikers, they tried false nines, they even put defenders up front in desperate moments. None of it solved the fundamental issue. They don't have a proper striker. Ruben Amorim has already started fixing the problem by signing Matheus Cunha and Bryan Mbeumo. These 2 players scored 35 Premier League goals between them last season, which shows United are serious about adding firepower. But these are wide players, not central strikers. United still need that focal point, that player who can lead the line and score the goals that win games. This is where Benjamin Sesko comes into the picture. The young Slovenian striker has been lighting up the Bundesliga with RB Leipzig, and his performances have caught the attention of Europe's biggest clubs. But why would Sesko choose United over other options? The answer might surprise you. Who is Benjamin Sesko and why does everyone want him? Benjamin Sesko is not your typical striker story. At 22 years old, he's already proven himself at the highest level and has the kind of qualities that modern football demands. Standing at 6 feet 5 inches, Sesko combines physical presence with technical ability in a way that's rare in today's game. Sesko started his career in Slovenia before moving to Red Bull Salzburg as a teenager. This was where he first showed his potential, scoring regularly in the Austrian league and making his mark in European competitions. His performances were so impressive that RB Leipzig decided to sign him, and he's continued his development in the Bundesliga. What makes Sesko special is his complete game. He's not just a target man who relies on his height and strength. He can drop deep to link play, he's comfortable on the ball, and he has the pace to run in behind defenses. These are exactly the qualities that Ruben Amorim wants in his striker. The numbers speak for themselves too. Sesko has consistently scored goals at every level he's played, and he's still improving. At 22, his best years are ahead of him, which makes him an attractive long-term investment for any club. But here's the question everyone's asking. If Sesko is so good, why would he choose Manchester United? They're not in European competition, they finished 15th in the Premier League, and there are other big clubs interested. The answer lies in a connection that most people don't know about. The Christopher Vival factor, United's secret weapon. This is where things get really interesting. Fabrizio Romano has revealed the hidden reason why Manchester United are confident they can sign Benjamin Sesko, and it all comes down to one man, Christopher Vival. Who is Christopher Vival? Most United fans probably don't know the name, but he could be the key to this entire transfer. Vival is part of Manchester United's management team, and here's the crucial detail. He came from the Red Bull Group. This means he knows Benjamin Sesko very well from his time working in the Red Bull system. Romano explained that Vival's connection to Sesko is why the interest is being discussed internally at United. When you have someone in your management team who has worked closely with a player and knows exactly what they're capable of, it gives you a huge advantage in the transfer market. Think about it from Sesko's perspective. He knows Vival, he trusts him, and he understands how he works. This isn't some random club coming in with an offer. This is someone he's worked with before telling him that Manchester United is the right move for his career. From United's side, they have inside knowledge that other clubs don't have. Vival can tell them exactly what kind of player Sesko is, how he fits into different systems, and what it would take to get him performing at his best. This kind of information is invaluable when you're spending big money on a player. Fabrizio Romano's latest updates. What we know right now. Fabrizio Romano has been following this story closely, and his latest updates give us a clear picture of where things stand. According to Romano, Benjamin Sesko is one of several options that Manchester United are considering for their striker position. The key word here is considering. They haven't made any formal approach yet. Romano has confirmed that there are currently no negotiations between Manchester United and RB Leipzig. This might seem disappointing, but it actually makes sense when you consider United's current situation. They need to sell players before they can buy, and Romano has made this very clear in his updates. The transfer expert explained that United's ability to pursue Sesko depends heavily on their outgoings. They need to raise money by selling players like Antony, who has interest from Real Betis, Jadon Sancho, and potentially Alejandro Garnacho. Only when they have the funds available can they make serious moves for their targets. Romano also mentioned that Marcus Rashford has already left the club, which will help with both the wage bill and transfer budget. But United need more sales to fund the kind of deal that would be required to sign Sesko from RB Leipzig. This waiting game might actually work in United's favor. While other clubs might make quick moves, United can take their time to plan the perfect approach. With Vival's connection to the player, they might not need to rush into negotiations. The money problem. Can United afford Sesko? Let's talk about the elephant in the room: money. Manchester United have already spent £127.5 million on Matheus Cunha and Brian Bumo this summer. That's a huge outlay, and it raises questions about whether they have enough left to sign a player like Benjamin Sesko. RB Leipzig are not going to sell their star striker cheaply. Sesko is young, he's proven, and he's got plenty of time left on his contract. Leipzig will want top dollar for him, and that could be a problem for United's budget. This is why player sales are so important. Romano has made it clear that United need to sell before they can buy more players. The good news is that they have several players who could attract interest from other clubs. Antony is reportedly close to joining Real Betis, which would free up wages and bring in a transfer fee. Jadon Sancho is another player who could be sold, and his departure would significantly help United's financial situation. There are also questions about Alejandro Garnacho's future, though selling him might be more controversial among fans. The challenge for United is getting good prices for these players. They can't afford to sell them cheaply just to raise funds, but they also can't price them out of moves if they want to clear space in the squad. Why Sesko makes sense for United right now. Despite the financial challenges, signing Benjamin Sesko would make perfect sense for Manchester United. He's exactly the type of player they need: young, talented, and with the potential to be one of the best strikers in the world. Sesko fits the profile that Ruben Amorim wants in his team. He's physical enough to lead the line, technical enough to link play, and quick enough to stretch defenses. These are all qualities that United have been missing in their attack. The age factor is also important. At 22, Sesko could be United's striker for the next decade. This isn't a short-term fix. It's a long-term investment in the club's future. When you compare this to some of the older strikers United have been linked with, Sesko represents much better value. There's also the psychological aspect to consider. United need to show that they can still attract top young talent despite their recent struggles. Signing a player like Sesko would send a message to other potential targets that United are serious about getting back to the top level. The Christopher Vival connection gives United a real advantage in this transfer. While other clubs might struggle to convince Sesko to join them, United have someone who already has a relationship with the player. The competition. Who else wants Sesko? Manchester United won't be the only club interested in Benjamin Sesko. A striker of his quality will always attract attention from Europe's biggest clubs, and United will need to fight off competition if they want to sign him. The good news for United is that many of the traditional big clubs already have established strikers. Manchester City have Erling Haaland, Arsenal have their own targets, and Liverpool have Darwin Núñez. This might limit the competition for Sesko's signature. However, there are always clubs looking to upgrade their attack, and Sesko's age makes him particularly attractive. Italian clubs like Juventus and AC Milan are always looking for young talent, and they might see Sesko as the perfect addition to their squads. German clubs could also be interested, especially if they lose their own star players. Bayern Munich, for example, might look at Sesko if they can't keep their current attackers happy. The key for United is to move quickly once they have their finances sorted out. The longer they wait, the more chance there is of other clubs entering the race and driving up the price. What Sesko brings to United's attack. Let's break down exactly what Benjamin Sesko would bring to Manchester United's attack. His physical presence alone would transform how United play. At 6 feet 5 inches, he gives them a target man who can hold up the ball and bring other players into the game. But Sesko is much more than just a big striker. He's comfortable dropping deep to receive the ball, which would help United build attacks from deeper positions. This is particularly important in Ruben Amorim's system, where the striker needs to be involved in the team's overall play. Sesko's pace is another huge asset. He can stretch defenses by running in behind, which would create space for United's wide players like Mbeumo and Cunha to operate. This kind of movement is essential in modern football, and it's something United have been lacking. In the penalty area, Sesko is a genuine threat. He's good in the air, he's clinical with his finishing, and he knows how to find space in crowded areas. These are all qualities that United desperately need if they want to score more goals next season. Perhaps most importantly, Sesko has the mentality of a top striker. He's confident, he backs himself to score in big moments, and he doesn't let missed chances affect his performance. This kind of mental strength is crucial for any striker playing for Manchester United. The realistic timeline: when could this happen? So when could we actually see Benjamin Sesko in a Manchester United shirt? Based on Fabrizio Romano's updates, it's clear that United need to sort out their player sales first before they can make any serious moves. The good news is that some of these sales are already progressing. Antony's move to Real Betis seems to be moving forward, and that could free up significant funds. If United can complete a few more sales in the coming weeks, they could be in a position to make an offer for Sesko. RB Leipzig won't want to drag out any negotiations once serious offers start coming in. They know that Sesko will eventually move to a bigger club, and they'll want to get the best possible price for him while he's still under contract. The ideal scenario for United would be to complete their sales by the end of July and then make a move for Sesko in August. This would give them time to integrate him into the squad before the season starts, and it would also avoid the panic buying that often happens late in the transfer window. However, transfer negotiations can be unpredictable, and there's always a chance that things could move faster or slower than expected. The key for United is to be ready to act when the opportunity arises. Fan expectations. What United supporters think. Manchester United fans have had to endure a lot of disappointment in recent transfer windows, so there's naturally some skepticism about whether the club can actually deliver on their targets. The Victor Gyökeres situation, where the player preferred Arsenal, has left some fans worried that United can't attract top players anymore. However, the Sesko situation feels different. The Christopher Vival connection gives United a genuine advantage, and the player's age and profile fit perfectly with what the club needs. Many fans are cautiously optimistic that this could be the signing that kickstarts United's recovery. There's also excitement about the potential partnership between Sesko and the new signings Mbeumo and Cunha. Fans can see how this attacking trio could work together, and there's genuine belief that it could solve United's goal-scoring problems. Of course, there are also concerns about the price and whether United can afford to sign Sesko after their big summer spending. Some fans worry that the club is overspending and not building a balanced squad. However, most supporters recognize that signing a quality striker is essential for United's future success. The general feeling among United fans is that if the club can make this signing happen, it would represent a major statement of intent. It would show that despite their recent struggles, United can still compete for the best young talent in world football. The bigger picture. What this means for United's future. The Benjamin Sesko transfer represents much more than just adding another player to the squad. It's about Manchester United showing that they're serious about returning to the top level of football. For too long, United have been associated with panic buying, overpaying for the wrong players, and failing to have a clear strategy in the transfer market. The Sesko deal, if it happens, would show that the club is learning from past mistakes. Having Christopher Vival involved in the process demonstrates that United are using their resources smartly. Instead of just throwing money at problems, they're leveraging relationships and inside knowledge to make better decisions. The signing would also vindicate Ruben Amorim's approach to rebuilding the squad. He's clearly identified the positions that need strengthening, and he's targeting players who fit his system. This kind of strategic thinking is exactly what United have been missing in recent years. Looking ahead, a successful Sesko signing could encourage other top players to consider United. Success breeds success in football, and if Sesko thrives at Old Trafford, it could make the club more attractive to future targets. Potential challenges and how United can overcome them. While there are many positives about the potential Sesko signing, there are also challenges that United will need to navigate. The biggest challenge is obviously the financial aspect. United need to raise funds through player sales before they can afford to sign Sesko. This puts pressure on the club to sell players quickly and at good prices. If they can't move on players like Antony and Sancho, it could derail their plans to sign Sesko. United need to be smart about how they handle these sales. Another challenge is convincing Sesko that United is the right move for his career. Without European football and after finishing 15th in the Premier League, United might not look like the most attractive destination for a young player with options. This is where the Christopher Vival connection becomes crucial. Vival can sell the vision of what United are trying to build and how Sesko would fit into those plans. He can also provide reassurance about the club's ambitions and commitment to success. There's also the challenge of integrating Sesko into the team once he arrives. Moving from the Bundesliga to the Premier League is never easy, and United will need to support him through that transition. The verdict: will this transfer happen? So will Benjamin Sesko actually join Manchester United? Based on all the available evidence, this transfer has a good chance of happening if United can sort out their finances. The Christopher Vival connection gives United a significant advantage over other clubs. This isn't just another target they're chasing blindly. They have inside knowledge and a relationship with the player that could prove decisive. Fabrizio Romano's updates suggest that United are serious about this deal, but they're being smart about how they approach it. They're not rushing into negotiations before they're ready, which shows they've learned from past mistakes. The financial aspect remains the biggest hurdle, but United have several players they can sell to raise funds. If they can complete these sales successfully, they should have enough money to make a competitive offer for Sesko. From Sesko's perspective, United offer him the chance to be the main striker at one of the world's biggest clubs. Even without European football this season, the long-term potential at United might be too good to turn down. Final thoughts. A transfer that could change everything. The Benjamin Sesko transfer saga represents everything that Manchester United need to get right in the modern transfer market. They need to be smart, they need to use their advantages, and they need to make decisions based on a clear strategy rather than panic or desperation. If United can pull off this signing, it would show that they're finally learning how to operate effectively in the transfer market. The Christopher Vival connection demonstrates that they're thinking strategically and using all available resources to their advantage. For United fans, this is exactly the kind of signing they want to see. Sesko is young, talented, and has the potential to be a star at Old Trafford for many years to come. He represents hope for a brighter future after some very dark times. The coming weeks will be crucial in determining whether this transfer happens. United need to move quickly on their player sales and then act decisively when the opportunity arises to sign Sesko. If they can get this deal over the line, it could be the moment that United's rebuild truly begins. After years of false dawns and disappointment, Benjamin Sesko could be the signing that finally gets Manchester United back on track. The hidden connection through Christopher Vival might just be the secret weapon that United need to win this transfer battle. Sometimes in football, it's not about having the most money or the biggest reputation. It's about having the right relationships and knowing how to use them. Stay tuned to United News for all the latest updates on this developing story. The summer transfer window is far from over, and if the Sesko deal is anything to go by, there could be plenty more excitement ahead for Manchester United fans. Whether this transfer happens or not, it's clear that United are finally starting to think more strategically about their recruitment. The days of panic buying and overpaying for the wrong players might finally be behind them. And if that's the case, then the future could be very bright indeed at Old Trafford. Chat control Sonnet 4.